What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to homesteaddan for yet another video. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button because that really helps out a lot. Have you ever grown anything inside of a cup, like a red Solo cup? I have. I think that was something that I actually learned in elementary school. We used to grow like little beans. Do they still do that? I don't even know if they still do that. Like we would put the beans inside some dirt or whatever. Even I think a little paper towel. And I think we would probably put it inside a cup, or I forget how the process goes. But I remember we grew beans inside of the cups. I remember Earth Day in elementary school where they would grow a tree and we would all go outside and we would watch them plant the tree and stuff like that. You know, I guess that was my first introduction to growing anything. Well, I wouldn't say that because my mom used to grow food in our backyard when I was a kid, but I was too young to really remember. I remember it, but I was too young to really remember. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to get into. But the thing is that this Solo cup, it's plastic. We're willing to grow stuff inside these cups, as a starter plant, and then we transplant, and it does us some well, But I want to say, or maybe introduce something new, though, for those who want to start growing and you find yourself not having the proper equipment, the proper pots to grow your stuff in. And I want to introduce the concept of growing your plants inside old 1-gallon water bottles. As you can see, this is a little pepper plant. Probably should water it. I probably should water it, but I'm here right now, y'all. I'm here right now. Anyway, growing inside of a water bottle. A 1-gallon water jug. This is what it looks like. All I did was just cut the top off of it. Now, I gotta be careful because it's pretty sharp. It's rigid. It's very rigid, and I don't want to get a plastic cut. But yeah, I just cut the top off of it, and then I filled it up with dirt, and now I got something growing inside of it. And I got a lot of people in Africa that I'm cool with, and I introduced the concept of growing their own food. Shout out to those who are in Africa watching my videos. I do appreciate y'all. But anyway, I introduced growing their own food, and a lot of people look at me crazy, or think I'm crazy, because in some of their minds they believe that in order to grow food you have to have land. Maybe people in the United States too. Maybe people in the United States believe that in order to grow food you have to have land. You need land. No land, you can't grow food. This is not true, and I don't know where this programming necessarily comes from. But this is not true. As long as you have a will, there's a way. You feel what I'm saying? As long as there's a will, there's a way. You can grow food in anything. I have a video of with me planting sweet potatoes to grow sweet potato slips, and I planted it in a box. Literally, the box says eggs on it. That means it was carrying eggs, cartons of eggs in it. And I planted my sweet potato in there, and it grew sweet potatoes within 2 weeks. Yes. You plant sweet potatoes with eyes on it. It took about 5 days for it to actually start poking up out the ground, but 2 weeks for it to actually put on full foliage, full slips that I can actually utilize and actually grow roots from. But anyway, I used a cardboard box to grow that. I didn't have anything else, I didn't have anything else to grow in it, so I was like, what? I got these cardboard boxes. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna utilize them. I'm gonna flip them. It's probably just gonna be like a one shot, but it's okay. I just need it for just a little while, and it did its thing. And the box is still holding up right now as I speak. I already put on to make sweet potato slips, and it's still holding on. And as long as it's still holding on, I'm gonna still use it, and it's okay. It's okay to do that. We have cats actually, and one thing that we constantly buy is cat litter. Well, guess what? The cat litter actually either comes in a container or it comes in a bag, like a cat litter bag. And the bag is pretty durable, So what I do is I cut a giant hole at the top of the bag and I throw some dirt in it and I use it to grow. I'm growing my pecan tree in it right now, and it holds quite a bit of dirt. There's a lot of room. And I'm like, why not? They come up with things like grow bags, you know what I mean? So the cat litter bag is almost the same quality as a grow bag. I'm like, why not use a cat litter bag to grow anything in? This is, now we're talking about recycling, like actually like recycling the things that we use every day that we think that are pretty much useless after we're done with them, but you can actually flip it and reverse it, like Missy Elliott. I know that was a terrible joke, but anyway, you can utilize anything to grow food. But why would anybody want to grow their own food? One of the things is, of course, with this whole case with this, what's it called, a cyclospora, whatever it is, when people get exploding diarrhea. That's crazy, like exploding diarrhea, like that's crazy. It's explosive. Anywho, you know the conditions in which you're growing your food in. When you go to the grocery store and buy anything, you're buying it in good faith. It doesn't matter who you're buying it from, you're buying it in good faith. You're buying it in the faith that, they took the proper steps, properly washed it, it's probably under the best growing conditions and stuff like that, properly stored, all that stuff. But when you grow it, you absolutely know exactly what you use, what you did to grow that particular fruit or vegetable or meat. Because now there's such a thing called 3D printed meat out there floating inside the market, God only knows where, because they're using the method of emulation to bewitch people into thinking that they're eating something that is completely real when it's actually completely fake. But if they're doing that with meat, they're probably most likely doing that with vegetables and fruits and drinks and God only know what else that they're doing that with. So I think this is high time to learn how to grow your own food, because you don't want to be the food to eat some emulated food, emulated fruits. You know what I mean? Like, that's just me though. Everybody gonna do their own thing. You feel what I'm saying? Hey, look, nobody gonna hold a gun to your head to make you do anything. If you want to go and put your trust in people that you personally don't really know, to grow your own food, because it's not a crime to go to your neighbor either. If you have a neighbor that grows food and you know them, they're respectable people and they use some respectable methods of growing their food, then absolutely go to your neighbor. You don't got to be the one to grow it, but go to your neighbor, support your neighbor. Why keep giving your money to these big corporations that technically are already on a monopoly level when you can just help your neighbor out, still trying to make it? You feel what I'm saying? And if you do anything else that's outside of agriculture, let's say you know how to make t-shirts, or you know how to make clothing, or you know how to make shoes, or you know how to make whatever that is, you know how to make, and that person up the road, your neighbor up the road, know how to grow food. Now y'all can probably start to barter with each other, something of equal value. There's nothing wrong with that either. But hey, I'm just a man talking outside my hat right now. You know what I mean? I'm just here. If y'all agree, definitely leave a comment down in the comment section with a thumbs up if you agree with it. If you don't agree, then hey, you feel free to agree or disagree, I would say. And if you liked the video, please again hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you all the next time. Peace and God bless.